So what happens if an AI becomes powerful enough to cause, catastrophic harm? It's a question that sounds like science fiction, but OpenAI believes it's a very real possibility, and they've built a formal safety playbook to prepare for it. Today, we're going to break down that exact plan, the preparedness framework. It all really starts with OpenAI's core mission, which you see right here, making sure that AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, benefits all of humanity. But here's the thing, a noble goal like that comes with a really heavy burden. As the AI gets more and more powerful, the risks, well, they grow right along with it. So just how high are the stakes we're talking about? Well, this high. When OpenAI uses the term severe harm, this is exactly what they mean. We're not talking about minor glitches or bugs here. We're talking about genuine catastrophes on the scale of a major terror attack or a massive economic collapse. This is the baseline they're using for their most serious safety planning. Okay, so here's how we're going to walk through this. First up, the core dilemma of AI's power. Then, we'll look at the safety rulebook itself, the specific severe risks they're actually tracking, their four-step process for dealing with them, and finally, and this one's a big one, who gets to make the ultimate call. All right, let's jump right into section 1, AI's promise and peril. This is really all about the central challenge here. How do you balance incredible, world-changing innovation with potentially devastating danger? So here's the fundamental dilemma, right? The very same frontier models that could one day cure diseases are the exact same ones that might pose these severe risks. It's a classic double-edged sword. The greater the capability, the greater the potential danger. And that's why a formal safety plan isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential. So how do you manage that kind of risk? Well, that brings us to section 2, and OpenAI's official solution, their safety rulebook, which they call the preparedness framework. You can think of this as their official emergency protocol. It's not about some general philosophical debate on AI ethics. Nope. This is a specific, highly technical process for identifying and neutralizing the most extreme dangers before a new powerful AI model is ever deployed to the public or even used inside the company. Okay, so what exactly are these catastrophic risks that they're so concerned about? Let's get specific and pinpoint the actual dangers. OpenAI isn't just chasing every sci-fi shadow. For a risk to even make it onto their high alert list, it has to pass 5 pretty tough checks. It's got to be plausible, something they can actually measure, severe enough to cause that mass harm we talked about, a completely new kind of threat, and finally, it has to be either instantaneous or pretty much impossible to undo. Only then does it get tracked. And when you run all the potential dangers through that 5-part filter, you're left with these 3 critical risk categories. You've got biological and chemical threats, you've got massive-scale cybersecurity attacks, and then there's the one that sounds a bit more out there, but is a very real concern, an AI that starts rapidly improving itself beyond our ability to control it. These are the big ones. Now, within these categories, they have 2 key alert levels. A high capability means the AI can make existing threats a whole lot worse. But a critical capability? Well, that's a whole other level. That means the AI can create a qualitatively new kind of threat, something we have no playbook for. And that's so serious it requires safeguards before the model is even finished being developed. So they know what they're looking for. But how does this all work in the real world? That brings us to their 4-step safety process. It's actually very methodical. First, they focus on which risks meet those 5 criteria we just talked about. Second, they constantly measure their new models to see if they cross those high or critical thresholds. Third, if a model gets too capable, they have to build and test safeguards. And fourth, they work to build trust in the whole process, both with internal governance and outside experts. And this slide does a great job of breaking down the 2 very different kinds of threats they build these safeguards for. On the one hand, you've got malicious humans trying to misuse the AI for harm. The defense there is stuff like monitoring how it's used and making it robust to jailbreaks. But on the other hand, you've got the risk of the AI itself going rogue. The defense for that is totally different. It's about aligning it with human values and building in technical limits like sandboxing. This all sounds great in theory, but a plan is only as good as the people who enforce it. So when push comes to shove, who actually has the power to hit the emergency brake? The decision-making chain is designed to be crystal clear. First, an internal safety advisory group digs into all the data and makes a recommendation. That recommendation goes up to OpenAI's leadership, who makes the official call. But, and this is so crucial, There's a powerful backstop. The board's safety committee can oversee and even reverse that decision. They act as the ultimate fail-safe. So, to put it simply, a team of experts makes a recommendation, the leadership makes the decision, and the board provides the ultimate check on that power. It's a system of checks and balances, but for some incredibly high-stakes decisions. And this is why this whole framework even exists. This is a direct quote from OpenAI's own document. They're stating, in no uncertain terms, that we are entering a totally new era of AI capability, one where the risk of severe harm becomes very real very quickly. Which leaves us with a critical and honestly pretty profound question. OpenAI has a detailed plan for the AI of today, but AI is moving at an exponential pace. So the real question is, can any safety framework, no matter how well designed, truly keep up with a technology that might soon be improving itself faster than we can even react? That is the challenge that lies ahead.